Hey, what's up guys? Jay here. We're at Micro Center here in Tustin and we're doing our Jay's rack. We haven't done this since like 2017 or something like that. It's been a while. Actually, fun fact, it was the original video that got me thrown out of Micro Center that led to us actually getting a great relationship with Micro Center. I was the first YouTuber to really build a relationship with Micro Center that then kind of got blasted out to all the influencers. So if there's one thing I can say I helped create, it's that. And that's my one claim to fame, okay? Anyway, moving on, if you guys remember in that video, the premise was we were walking around Micro Center and we were going like, oh, you know, we're jaded YouTubers, we get so much stuff for free, we forget how much things cost. So the idea was to have a shopper within the store that was there to buy something for someone else, like that they were there for selfless reasons. But we then had them walk around with us and help us pick parts for a build that was based on what they felt was a great balanced PC that would perform really well at the time. And then we surprised them with that cart of parts as a random act of kindness, or Jay's Rack. Obviously Christmas time allows us to do stuff like that. This is one of my favorite things that we get to do is actually make someone's day or year, or hell, that person has stayed in touch throughout the years and said that it led to a chain of events that just ended up being great for them. Because that person, I believe he was there building for his cousin or something like that. I don't remember. So yeah, we're gonna do that same thing here today, and we're gonna kind of keep it around 3,000 or less. And it's funny because back then I think it was like 1,200 bucks, and that was a kick-ass PC. But given the RAM prices and stuff today, 3 grand doesn't go as far. But fortunately, Micro Center has the 3-in-1 bundles. They're still in stock, right, Pablo? They've already survived almost a week, so that means they clearly secured quite a bit of inventory on that. Also, I need to give a huge shout out to our sponsor for this. It's not Micro Center, even though we're at Micro Center. It's actually iBuyPower. iBuyPower has been huge and instrumental, allowing us to do a lot of things we've wanted to do. Remember, they were the main title sponsor and supporter of the JayzTwoCents SoCal Tech Fair. So just kind of capping off the year with one of the best sponsors that we've worked with in years, that has really allowed us to, you know, be very forward and different when it comes to the industry. Now, you guys know iBuyPower is the parent company for Height, and they are not even worried about whether or not the person picks Height products or not. If they do, it's great, but if not, has nothing to do about that. It just has to do with paying something forward and giving back to this community. So with that said, time to go and find the right person. Might take a while. The last time we were in the store over 6 hours before we found the right person. Hopefully we find the right person faster than that today. But we gotta wait, we gotta hold out, we gotta find the right one. Okay, so we found Wesley here, who was actually here you said you were getting networking tools because you're gonna work on your parents' network for Christmas.
Yeah, correct.
You traveling for that, you said?
Yeah, out to Virginia, a little bit colder.
Oh, when are you leaving?
Tomorrow.
Oh, okay, fun. It's kind of unique and interesting. We talked about the premise of having a consumer help us pick parts because we're so close to the industry. Sometimes what we think is important may not be what the consumer thinks is important, et cetera. But you're not a beginner. You have about 100, you said 150 or so builds so far. Your personal build, you said it's a 5900X. It's got a 3080 Ti on a custom loop.
Correct.
Right, definitely no slouch of a PC.
No.
It's funny because we were talking a little bit off camera before we started right now. I was starting to say custom loop is fun until you want to quickly change out like a GPU or something. And then it's not as fun.
No, very quickly realized that upgrading gets to be something you fear instead of look forward to.
Yeah, okay, so here's the premise, like I said. Budget, I think 2,500. I almost said 2,500K. Wow, that would be a lot. $2.5 million, let's go.
You can maybe buy 32 gigs of RAM with that.
Almost. You can almost buy 32 gigs of RAM. So I think 2,500, even with the RAM crisis, is a solid starting point here.
It's a great price point.
Especially with the 3-in-1 bundle.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna try and stick with that.
Okay.
Use case. So for us personally, I'm thinking gaming is a priority, but we want a strong enough CPU so that we can still live stream, do some video editing, without feeling like we're making too much of a trade-off.
So light productivity.
Yeah.
I have one chip in mind. As soon as we talk about it, if we're not going full send productivity, it narrows the chip down pretty quickly. You're looking at an X3D chip in my view for gaming. Again, it hits the price point, hard to argue.
Yeah, because I think it allows us to still stay well within budget. So the bundle right now is 9800 X3D, B650-E. Okay. And then it's 32 gigs of the G.Skill 6000 mega transfers. I think it's CL32 RAM. The bundles kind of take some of the guesswork out, right?
Yeah, it helps a lot. And they do offer the upgrade differences, which can sometimes be, because 650 is older.
It doesn't get us the X chipset stuff, but
if you're not trying to push it, it won't matter that much.
Yeah, I feel like it's an easy way to waste money.
It is.
They do have a motherboard upgrade, but I don't think it's worth it.
One of the things I like looking for, yeah, so The BIOS flashback is great if you're buying an older board,
Yes.
especially because even if you buy it and it happens to be one that's not updated for it, you throw a USB stick in there, you don't need to install a CPU or anything else, and you can just get it ready to go.
Yeah, because it's interesting. What I'm looking for here is they would normally put a sticker
that says AIM.
9,000 ready.
Yep.
I know this is going to be 9,000 ready.
Yeah, it's been long enough.
But it doesn't have this.
But yeah, and that's the case. If you're not sure, if you're buying someplace else, make sure that BIOS flashback is huge, especially for recovery or this case.
Okay, so are we pretty set then on the 9800X3D?
What's the total bundle price for that?
$679. That gets you motherboard.
Yeah, at right now, I don't see how you're going to beat that.
Yeah, because here's the thing. The CPU by itself is $400. That means you're getting for $279 a motherboard and 32 gigs of RAM.
Which is impossible.
That RAM kit by itself outside of the bundle is $400. So that's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love G-Skill RAM. I'm an old school G-Skill fanboy, so.
Yeah. Now, I will say this, when it comes to productivity, the 9800X3D, if we're talking about extreme CPU workloads, has always performed near the bottom of our charts, but that's not a realistic workload.
No, it's not. Yeah, right, like if we're doing light video editing, light photo editing, it's gonna be fine, right? The difference you're gonna get marginal for real world results is gonna be measured in seconds for most people, not hours.
Okay, so here's the CPU and here's the RAM. Fun fact, I wasn't sure what the RAM situation was gonna be, so I actually brought a kit with me today, just in case.
Yeah, it's the buy it from a buddy option.
So the cool thing is with a $2,500 budget, we know we're gonna stay well within that now.
Yeah, we'll be okay.
They do have a RAM upgrade. If you want to spend $400 more, we can get 64 gigs of Corsair.
Yeah, and who's using that without, if you're editing an 8K video, we can have that conversation.
But it has RGB.
Although it makes it go faster, we have to get it.
Do you know one of the reasons that made me really go, you know what, Wes would be fun to do this video with? This off camera, he was like, the bubble has to burst, man. This AI shit's gotta go.
Again, I use it as a tool, but we're in crazy town now.
It is a tool, and so many people are trying to use it as like a complete replacement for things.
Anyway, that's a whole other topic.
Okay, so this now brings us into the next most expensive part, which is going to be the most expensive part, is GPU. So you said you lean more towards AMD personally. What about GPU?
I have always bought NVIDIA GPUs, but honestly, the last time I was buying,
Do you use CUDA apps at all?
I do. Again, when I'm using, I was using Premiere. I used to use DaVinci, that kind of stuff, and I was using a lot more of that. But nowadays, the last time I bought a GPU, I could buy EVGA.
Yeah.
Again, call me old school, I have some brand loyalty, but so.
We all miss EVGA.
Yeah, press F for respects, man. Yes. It was a different time. So if I'm looking today, I know like budget value, anytime you're trying to do that, you're gonna have a better time with AMD. But if we have room in our budget, and you happen to have good pricing available, you're not paying.
They do have MSRP 5080s here, $999.
I didn't see that.
They have the Zotac Solid, and then they have the Gigabyte WindForce.
Okay.
I personally would have a really hard time paying $700+ for a 9070 XT, knowing our budget will support a 5080.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing. If you have the budget, that's what you're paying the NVIDIA sticker for.
Because right now that puts us before tax at $1,679.
Yeah, we got plenty of room.
I do not think we need $800 for a cooler, a case, a power supply, and storage.
No, and I think honestly, like when it comes to GPUs especially, like I've had some rough goes with Gigabyte, I've had some good goes with Gigabyte. If we have room to go for like do they have an Asus 5080 for that? What can we get where we can start looking at spending a little bit more on stuff to use up some of that budget?
Okay, so these are the two MSRP models right here, 5080 Solid and the WindForce. Now I'm going to ask you what kind of experience you have with either of these brands, and which would you go with and why?
I've had some good experiences with the Gigabyte. I've had some less than good experiences with the Gigabyte. Most of my pain points with them is software, and most of that can be mitigated now anyway.
Yeah. Because you don't have to use their, I forget what they call it, it's not even on the box, I forget what they call their software, but you would only really need it to change any of the lighting on board, but OpenRGB does that now for
almost and there's so many other tools, whether it's OpenRGB or Argus or something like that, works just fine. I mean, honestly, they look very, very similar if everything else is the same. I mean, if you got nothing else and you're building, you may as well have fun. So I'm going to go with that looks better, and I would go with this one.
All right, we'll go with the Zotac. We know how painful this is. The other most painful part is storage.
To me, this is like, at least I knew the RAM is coming. This is beginning to look. Oh my God!
Well, they come out of the same manufacturers, right? The same factories. They're using the same wafers, the same NAND. So
it all funnels up, man.
I always felt like 2 terabyte was the sweet spot, but I think given pricing right now, 1 terabyte.
Yeah, looking at these prices, I cannot imagine. I mean, you're already talking close to $200 for a terabyte.
And this is all on the heel of Windows breaking everyone's drives. Maybe that was Windows all along.
Yeah,
what I started to say is if you under-spec your RAM, that's a bigger deal because now you're dealing with mixed kits that may not run at
It's much harder to go backwards and add more later with RAM storage. Every board has like 60 M2 slots now. Who cares?
Yeah. I like how the stuff that has a reasonable price tag is empty.
Yeah, weird how that works.
Wait, you mean we don't need a $2,500 or $2,400 8 terabyte?
Oh, I'll go get a car loan real quick for that.
I think if we're just talking gaming here, we don't even need to consider Gen 5.
All right, yeah.
I think Gen 4 helps with the price if it's not too ridiculous. The cool thing about this is we went ahead and spec'd a 2 terabyte because we think we have the budget for the rest of our parts. Nice to know if we need to get $100 back, we can just drop down to a 1 terabyte.
Oh yeah, easy.
$999 for the graphics card, $679 for the bundle, and $210 for the drive leaves us $612 to get a case, a power supply, and a cooler.
I think we got some room. I think we should do it. Let's go.
I think we're gonna have to go air though.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Again, it's not a Threadripper. I think we'll be okay for
it's a 130 watt part, 140 watt part, I believe.
Yeah, and we're not going to be drawing a 300 or 400 watt Intel CPU, so.
But we can make it if we wanted to. So sticking with brands we know and recognize, I don't know anything about this King Cool brand. It's probably fine. It looks like it's got 6 vapor chamber heat pipes, potentially. I don't know if they're vapor chamber at the price point, but Thermalright has definitely proven it.
Yeah, there's no reason to steer any place else right at this point, because I mean, you can come over here and we can glance down this side of the aisle, but.
Oh yeah, if you want to pay 3 or 4 times as much.
What are you doing? Like,
Noctua.
I think Noctua is going to have a serious correction in their pricing at some point.
So because we have a little bit extra budget, we're going to go with the more cleaner looking Phantom Spirit 120 Evo. It's part of the same like Peerless Assassin kind of group, but this is technically a little bit higher end product from Thermalright. And then our Micro Center associate came and said, well, this Thermalright 360 AIO is the same price as that air cooler.
Like I normally would be expecting to pay a lot more for that, so I wouldn't even bother looking, and maybe that's part of the problem is you got to ask.
Normally, I personally would never, like years ago, I would have never considered a 360 AIO that's $70 to last.
Oh, not a chance. I'd be scared as hell about that. I have a hard time, and so this depends on who's the user we're talking about. Are they more capable? Are they going to be paying attention to keeping an eye on their AIOs? If they're not, I'm still pointing them towards this, even at the same price point, because I know if one of these fans dies, their system isn't falling apart. They're not leaking on stuff. They're not leaking on a $1,000 5080. If I'm building for me and I'm looking to build it, I might consider that. But honestly, these days, like I'm coming from a full custom loop and I still don't have time to tinker anymore. Yeah. So my gut says I can put this in here. I don't have to think about it. If we're building this kit that we can throw together, build it, and not worry about it, it's still gonna go this way. Yeah,
the only thing this adds is a little bit of complication if you're trying to access and put RAM in and out. But other than that, I don't.
With current RAM pricing, I don't think we're changing that for a while.
All right, air cooler it is then. Let's go that route. We'll take this from the perspective of the person is not an above average user and something simple like this to troubleshoot. Okay, so the last major power or component we need is power supply. We have $542 left in our budget for power supply and case. We're doing really good. Our philosophy, or mine personally, has always been to overspec the power supply a little bit because it's the part you hang on to the longest.
Yep. And it's the part that matters the most, but it's also the most boring.
So because we have a 5080, we know we need ATX 5 or ATX 3.0 or PCIe 5 because we need that 12 volt 2x6 connector. It's recommended minimum 850 watt.
I would go 1,000, yeah, at least.
Because it's funny, the 5090 technically says 1,000, but 1,200 is really the recommended.
Yeah, so I'd be comparing those two. I want to compare Superflower and I want to compare the Seasonic, and that's because that's what I'm looking at. For me, the price difference to me, like I know Seasonic, that's what I'd lean towards. If this is a difference of like 20, 30 bucks, I'd probably still go Seasonic. If it's 40, 50, 60 dollars at that point, I'd say, hey, let's just do this. Yeah. That's where I'm going to land.
Now for the audience benefit, Superflower and Seasonic are the two major ODMs when it comes to power supplies. Most of the power supplies you see are going to be coming from those factories. Now that's for the main power delivery component. You can have differences of cables and the way that the brand themselves want to deal with the pinout. So don't just assume because I don't know if this is the exact ODM, but you can't say Be Quiet and Corsair are both using Superflower, so therefore the cables are interchangeable.
Yeah, no.
Never mix and match cables.
Oh God.
Okay, so the actual price, the GX 1000 ATX, it says 3 is, oh, it's 3.1. They had to put a sticker on it. Yeah. Is $169. And then the
Superflower.
There was two different brands.
Yeah.
I can't remember which
models.
Yeah.
The LEDX versus the Combat.
Oh yeah, LEDX and Combat. Those were $139. Yeah. So it's a difference of $30. Wesley, so give us your rationale of why you chose a Focus.
So I've been around. I built tons of systems. Seasonic has never done me dirty. I love their stuff. I realize that we're paying a premium at this point for some sort of name recognition or brand loyalty. Superfly is probably going to be the same thing, but at the end of the day, if I have the budget, if I have some room, I'll buy something that I know and trust. Same reason I like G-Skill stuff. It's just the way it is.
10-year warranty is hard to argue with too. It's gold rated, and I'll agree with you. They're both major OEMs, and we've never had any problems with either. We've run both of them equally, and I think most people shop in that brand recognition, brand trust because you've experienced it. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Especially if you have the time, if you have the builds, like at some point you just know, if I don't want to think about it, this will work. And it's probably true for both. I'm sure the same is there. So what do we got next left for budget?
$373 is left out of our $2,500 budget to now buy a case and any needed potential case accessories or fans.
That's a lot of room for a nice case.
Man, I should have made this harder. I should have stuck with $2,000.
No take backsies, we're out.
No take backsies. Okay, this is going to be easily the most subjective part in the entire build.
And also part of the most fun, right? If you have the budget left, you constrain everything else, you know what size of case you're building before you pick all this stuff, but which case you get,
you gotta stare at it.
It's the best part of personal expression, right? Yeah. It's the fun part, it's the good part.
I've said it before, I envy the people that don't care what it looks like.
Oh,
that must
God.
be such a simple, easy
Can you
life.
imagine the relief you would feel from that?
Now, I think cases are harder to buy these days than it's ever been, because you had your major players, but every major player now has such a big portfolio of cases.
Huge, and there's so many other new competitors, I think from height to, again, I've been buying Fantex the last few years, but like...
Other brands that have definitely kind of popped up over the years that have definitely made a big splash. Thermaltake went through a really interesting phase where they were just kind of copying everyone's designs.
That was rough.
Then they came back and now they're making some pretty unique, interesting stuff, like the core, like the tower, that stuff. We don't need anything that big.
No.
That's definitely a more open loop type of build.
Yeah.
Fractal Design has so many now. Corsair has a bajillion different styles. Corsair's up in the other part.
Yep.
Height's come out with some great stuff.
They have some nice gear.
I'm not personally a fan of the aesthetics and the design of like the Y60, Y70, but I do really like the X50. So I just moved my workstation over to the Haven. I moved it into this guy right here, but look at those intake fans.
Holy God. Those 180s? 200s?
They're 180s.
Jesus.
Yeah. And it comes with both of those and the 140 in the back already.
I am preferential. I love the look of the rounded full glass thing, but you are paying for it in performance. Yeah. Like you absolutely are changing the airflow dynamics of the case and forcing out from the bottom up. Again.
Now the nice thing about this is it's solid down here.
Yeah.
So if you set it on carpet, it won't affect.
From the side. Well, but it will be pulling from the ground. Yeah. So don't put stuff on carpet. Well, begs the question, what are you guys gonna use it for when you're done? Because this is a fun little test rig.
It's funny you brought that up. I have a question for you. Before we started, you said, okay, you were here to buy networking tools like crimps and stuff because I'm assuming you're making some patch cables or something back there.
Yeah, she has an old apartment with the old telephone line, but it's all Cat 5, and you can retrofit it for. That's cool. Yeah.
You said you you donated all your tools. What was that about?
So I have friends that do the same thing. I walk them through building their own networks in their house and stuff like that, and I'll usually leave them with some Cat 6 and some connectors and stuff, and I'll just give them tools. So between that and I run and manage IT for a family business here in Irvine. And so I leave tools there for stuff that needs to happen.
I'm always interested because I worked 10 years in IT.
Okay.
IT for a small business, it's interesting because normally they'll contract out because they can't afford to have their own IT guy. So what kind of business is it?
I'm the managing partner with my brother at Irvine Lanes down here, the bowling alley. Yeah, so that's a family business. We started that in 1981. My father pulled mostly out of that a couple of years ago, and so it's me. I'm the managing partner. I'm also the CIO. So I designed our entire unified network and everything else that we run there. I designed our servers, our camera systems.
I feel like that makes sense though, because bowling alleys have a lot, like every one of those scoring systems. Right?
Every bit of them. Yeah, it's crazy to think about how complicated that is, but how simple it is. I mean, all the little head units behind the TVs, each lane pair is just a little Linux box that's basically pixie booting. It's a lot of cool stuff. We are not a normal bowling alley in many cases because of my IT background. Okay. So we've been a beta center for our point of sale and scoring control. So we got to put in some new stuff where the people got it because I have the relationship, right? But I've been doing IT for a long time, ever since high school. I did run around and go fix stuff as a TA when I was in high school.
Yeah. No, what we're doing with this was we're actually giving this to you. This is yours. So what we do, yeah, don't fall over. I know you already did the cane. I don't want to hurt you. But what we do is every year we try and find someone that we feel is more selfless than they are, selfish when it comes to this sort of stuff. And it sounds to me like you've been doing this sort of thing for everyone around you for so long. We want to do something for someone. And so, yeah, this is your build. Actually, funny story, I'll bring him out to say hi. The guy with the red sweater that's been walking around, he is a high-ranking employee at iBuyPower and Height.
Oh, okay.
And I told him, I said, look, they may not choose a Height case. They're like, we don't care. We don't care. In fact, he wants to talk to you afterward to find out what it is you don't like about the case.
Oh, absolutely.
But anyway, yeah, so they sponsored this. And we've been here trying to find, someone that covertly fits the bill. And I think that's you, Wesley.
Well, I am greatly appreciative. It's certainly not necessary, but always appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. You were talking about wanting to do an upgrade. So my question to you now is, do you know of someone that you can pay it forward with your build or something?
Yeah, I think there's a few people I already have come to list.
We talked about it before we even started filming, right? There's so much negativity around PC right now. And the thing is, I feel like right now, PC enthusiasts are really the collateral damage in what the industry is turning into.
Absolutely. And consumers are getting the rough end of the stick here. Everyone's stopping with Crucial and everyone else stopping production. Yeah. It's going to be hard, right? I mean, NVIDIA went from having consumer market for their cards be, like 20-30% of their revenue to be in single digits. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to take it in the pants. And this is the time more than ever where the community around this has to step up, right? Don't scalp your stuff. If you have those stuff, find people who aren't going to get that opportunity to learn through and build stuff and teach them, right? Beers and builds, sit down, have a good time, teach someone how to do this and help them with good hardware. That
is the entire reason I started my channel almost 15 years ago. Is I just wanted to, because like I said, I worked in IT, I was tired of getting asked questions by friends and family and this, and I was like, you know what, anytime I'm asked a question, I'm gonna make a video about this. And then it turned into this huge community of over 4 million followers now, and we just want to keep excitement in this. And 26 for us, we have a huge challenge to keep injecting positivity into this space when there's so much to be rightfully upset about.
Because that's what makes it fun, right? There's going to be hard times, there's going to be dips, right? We had the issue with hard drives in Thailand years ago when that dropped everything. Yeah. And it's the same thing. We can find reasons to be positive about this, and even if we're building small rigs, if we're building cheap stuff, it's a more reason to explore indie games. It's more of a reason to explore different aspects that aren't just AAA titles. Yeah. And build a new generation of enthusiasts. That's half the fun.
I appreciate that. King, Wesley.
How's it going? Pleasure to meet you.
I filled him in on what this was all about.
To me, it's another experiment, right? These are things I do all the time. People ask me, wait, what should we build? How we do this? I'm so used to just walking through the list and process and going. I don't even think twice about it. I don't think about where it's going.
It's like a meta per price point, right?
Yeah, it's
for business use, which is totally different.
It's like playing a game. Yeah. And so when I asked it, I was like, hey, well, where's it going for? Like, what test rig? What are you going to do with it? Because that's half the fun, right? Is understanding the behind the scenes for this is fun to me. The thought had not crossed my mind that this might not go back with him. So I'm extremely appreciative.
But I'll be honest, the whole process absolutely is genuine. Understanding the consumer perspective. Yeah. But yeah, we had decided that we were going to do this, and like I said, iBuyPower and Height decided, mostly iBuyPower in this one, to be a part of this. And even though iBuyPower sells pre-builds, to know and understand what where consumers are and stuff. And so I just want to say thanks to King for supporting this.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, dude,
this
awesome.
is like an IRL configurator, right? Yeah, we do this for people who can't make it out to Micro Center or don't have enough knowledge at all.
Because everyone has to get started somewhere, and you got to these videos are what allow people to get into it and go have a starting point of this is how this process works. This is what it looks like.
This is quite literally how we do our own market research. Is to go around and seeing things. So I've been peeping this cart, and I'm going like, okay, cool. That's why there's a choice there. That's why there's a
and there's not always a perfect answer, right? Every decision we made in this cart could have gone a slightly different way, and some of that's personal preference, some of that's personal expression. But that's half the fun of this whole sequence is. At the end of the day, there are better sort of range of decisions, but the fun is finding out sometimes that, probably should have done that different, and that's always the next time.
Was there anything in this cart that you second guessed along the way? Do you feel pretty solid about it?
If I'm being honest, I'm thinking I changed that SSD back to maybe a little high performance because some of the stuff I do is a lot of data dumping and videos dumping. So I do a lot of sequential transfers. Okay. So maybe a better piece of storage.
Great suggestion. I would too. I mean, Rampocalypse, go for it now.
Yeah, right. I'm not going to be able to buy another one later. So
yeah, we agree with you.
So you understand, King, one of the things that caught my attention was when we were talking, it's funny, you'd walked by and then you came back.
Yeah, I was on the phone because I did a double take. I was like, holy shit, that's Jesus.
So
what really caught my attention is one, you're going back east to see family, and even while you're out there, you're gonna be doing work. You're gonna be helping them with their network and stuff. But then we eat, sleep, breathe this. We can't stop. I'm spending my Christmas break redoing my mesh Wi-Fi at home. So actually, it's technically not a mesh. It's all PPOE, but still.
Unify or no?
It is Ubiquiti.
Good man.
Yeah, it's Ubiquiti. I went with the U7 Pros. Already, it's a tri-band. It handles. There's a whole video about this. You guys might have already seen it by then. We actually did a video on this here. But no, so he mentioned that
I'm a Ubiquiti fan. Just want to throw it up.
If you've never used it before, it's a good time, man.
I'm really looking forward to doing the cloud key and seeing all the. So I didn't get any of that stuff yet. I'm gonna build up to it, but.
Let's chat after this. This is there.
So, what caught my attention was he said he was here to buy networking tools for crimps and stuff like that because he keeps donating his tools. So he would go places and do work, and then he would just leave the tools behind so that they had stuff. So that kind of caught my attention.
That's good philanthropy. That's what literally this experience is about.
It's teaching, right? It's teaching and allowing the next person to help themselves and keep going, and then pass that along. That's the hope, right?
Yeah. And then he did agree, to cleanse his system, but even to pay it forward with his current system, which is no slouch. It's a custom loop 3080 Ti build with a 5900X AMD. So
a little bit older, but it's.
What do you mean? Everyone's gonna be forced to optimize. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
true. I think everyone in this warehouse right now will agree. What really pushes forward build your own PC is games that force you to have to upgrade, and there hasn't been any games that have been doing that for 5 years now.
That's why I haven't been pushed to despite everything else that's hard. Why upgrade right now? My stuff runs just fine. I'm not.
Well, you heard it. He doesn't want it. He said, "Why upgrade?"
Well. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But I'm running a 1440p rig. I am not pushing 4K at whatever. My game, it's a good rig. It runs fine.
Now your Christmas vacation that you're in back east is going to feel Virginia, right?
Virginia.
It's going to feel even longer now because you want to come home and play with that.
This is sitting here. It's okay. Yeah.
And your 3080 Ti, it's an EVGA card, so already props on that.
Yeah. It's the last of the Hydro Coppers. I went from a 3080 from them that I put a custom water block on, and my buddy had bought a Hydro Copper and said, I don't have any use for this. And I was like, well, I can make use of it. So I passed that 3080 on to a different buddy at the same time. I must have been through 3 or 4 GPUs during COVID when nobody could get them.
Yeah.
I was still getting them at EVGAs regular, because they would do their waitlist products, right? I would get it at MSRP.
If you just were patient, it always came through.
Yeah, you just had to be patient. But I could turn that around to other people who were looking to build a system and didn't understand that game. And that's what it's about.
I can tell you right now, though, just from our own charts that are embedded in my head, that 5080 is going to blow your mind versus the 3080 Ti.
I'm looking forward to it, certainly to say the least. This is...
Good pick with the Zotac too. I was looking at.
Yeah. I'm like I said, I'm just nothing but grateful. I was not expecting any of it. So. It's
wait, there's more. He's got a 5070 in his hand. No, I don't know if that's for it.
Yeah.
Well, Wesley, thank you so much for helping us today.
It's a pleasure, man. King, pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, guys, take this as an opportunity. Choose positivity. I know there's so much we can absolutely be justified over being upset about, but there is positiveness in this whole genre in PC gaming. I do not believe this is the end of PC or the end of PC gaming. I think we just have to change our mindset on the way we approach it. You don't need the latest and greatest. You heard his rig is great. Whoever ends up getting that rig is getting a hell of a system as well. But it's just more important about finding a passion over something. And for me, and obviously I think you would agree, building is the passion.
Yeah, we got to remember why we're doing this, right? What's the point in doing any of this if you're not having fun, if you're not bringing others into the party at the same time? It's a community. We need to remind that it's a good community.
Yeah. And even from our end, going forward, we will always do our best to give the consumers the best selection, best price that we could always do. And our partnership with Micro Center, I don't know if you knew that. We have a partnership with Micro Center. Any iBuyPower PC that you build in and out of warranty can be serviced here now across the nation. Yeah, I don't think people know about that yet.
That just started, Q4 this year? Yeah. It just recently started.
Very new, very new.
Yeah, so. That's a good entry for people who are interested in this whole field, but not quite ready to throw everything together. There's nothing wrong with doing that, right? Especially if you can get a good company that puts together good parts. They're not throwing cheap power supplies and they're not putting cheap RAM. If you can do that and get a good opportunity, you don't have to screw with any of this. If that's just not your game, and that's okay.
Yeah. Well, thank God for the bundles, or we would not have hit the budget.
Oh, holy crap.
Not even close. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Do something nice for someone else this season, and hopefully 26 is better.